right. What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the Creative Mind. Damn, it's been a minute since we did one of these with Mint and everything, but happy to be back. I am your host today, the founder of ODK, Andrew Lyko. And for those who are not familiar with these kind of spaces that we tend to have a featured guest, a creative, and we like to dive into their story, their perspective, what they're currently doing in the space, how they got here. And yeah, man, it's a really cool conversation. We get to tap into the creative mind and really get to understand their story and why they're doing the things that they're doing. That being said, for those who are not familiar with One Dope Kids, I'm going to go ahead and take a quick 2 minutes to explain, talk about who we are, what we do, what's the reason we're even here. So I like to describe us as a community of creative, like people, so to speak. So what we aim to do is really focus on art, community, energy, and utility. So the main purpose for all of this is to really just connect individuals with other people that are doing really amazing things in their own way. We tend to get told that you need to go to school, you need to get a job, you need to do this, and that in order to live a fulfilled life. And I call bullshit on that. And the main focus with having our community is to showcase the many different ways that you can live your life as a creative. So we really like to empower people out of the norm, people that like to think differently, do stuff differently, like to take risks, and for the most part, just want to live the life their way. So these are the type of people we like to empower and seek out to not only nurture, but see if there's other ways that we can provide opportunities for them moving forward. And so, because a lot of the stuff that we do within ODK ties back to the stuff that I've learned in my life as being a creative and now a full-time contemporary fine artist. I know all the bullshit, all these things that can kind of, cause hurdles and really push back on your dreams. And so what I'm trying to do here is lead by example, uh, have my story be an open book for my community, and really try to touch the masses to show them that you can live life on your terms, no matter your situation, no matter your medium of form of creativity. And all in all, that's what it's really about, man. It's just empowering artists, creatives, collectors, and having a good time while doing it. So without further ado, man, I really, really am excited to get in conversation with Sensei Traplord. To be completely honest, I am not too familiar. We haven't spoken too much, but I've heard great things about you, man. And yeah, I'm looking forward to hear a little bit about your story. How you got to the place that you're at right now. I do see that on your profile you describe yourself as an artist, dev, and creator. And I see that you're also a founder of your own project titled Pixel Lord. So a lot going on there, man. And first of all, I want to thank everybody who is here right now, listening in right now, and you as well, Lord Sensei Trap Lord, for joining us today on this beautiful Friday, man. Yeah, come on up and say what's up to the people, man.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Yo, Lyko, shout out for having me on here. Shout out ODK. Um, I see let's say in here, what's up, fam? Um, Shout out to everybody else. How's everybody doing?
We're good, man. We're good. Can't complain. Weather's nice right now where I'm at. A little bit cold, but nonetheless, man, keep it moving. I see actually in South Africa, correct?
Yeah, all the way from South Africa, fam. Mbuz, what's up, fam?
Hey, much love to South
Yeah,
Africa.
from South Africa. And you, Lyko, where are you from?
Ah, man. I mean, I'm from California. I was born in Los Angeles, but I've been kind of like all over the place lately. I'm currently in Mexico City, and I'm actually gonna fly to Cali in a few hours. So this space worked out perfectly as far as timing goes. Because after this, I'll probably have a few hours to kind of chill, maybe get some food, and then head to the airport, man. But yeah, uh, let's go ahead and get into it, man. I know the people are here. I know you got some of your people here, and this is gonna be a real raw conversation. Like, I really don't have anything planned, bro. I have questions in mind, but whatever this space leads to, that's where it goes. I like to keep it very raw, fresh, in the moment, a real conversation. So let's take everything way back, man, and this, if you can think of the very first moment that you realized you wanted to be a creator. And what I mean by that, it can be something as simple as a drawing, it could be something, a project, just kind of like tell us about that moment when you realize, like, oh shit, like, I want to make something.
Um, I feel like I've always been creative and always tried to create things, but not so seriously in the beginning. So not up until recently. So up until like maybe 5 or 6 years ago, that's when I really started taking creating seriously. And like the last 2 years, like really seriously, like going to war, creating. Um, so yeah, man. In the beginning, I was still in the matrix, so I was still worried about matrix things, get a job, this and that type of shit. So 2 years ago, about 2 years ago, I jumped into Web3, and then that's when I realized this is what I want to do. It's because I'm qualified as a dev in IT, so um, I just wanted to fuse tech and art into one, and that's the journey I'm on right now.
Yeah, that's a pretty exciting journey, man, because, you know, tech and art, when you combine the two, you got to think about it this way. Tech, especially now in our times, right? Tech is evolving at a very extreme rapid pace. So to be able to utilize tech as a form of an artistic medium is already very difficult because things are always changing. So for me, I find devs extremely fascinating because they need to be so articulate, like so technical when it comes to their creation and what they're making. And for me, that's just one of the most difficult things that I've seen, being done in this space. It's like, shout out to devs, man, because you guys really put the ideas and bring them to life, right? Like with the user experience and just overall the whole experience as a whole, man. So how did you get into that? Like, that this is something I'm actually curious as a whole. Like, I always want to know, how do devs become devs, bro? Like, how does that even start?
It was destiny, fam. So initially, when I left high school, I actually studied civil engineering because I wanted to go like the architecture route. And then unfortunately, I couldn't pass the maths on civil engineering. Like I tried it like 2 or 3 times, and then I was like, nah, fuck the shit, man. So then I had to like relook at it, and I was like, yo, coding would be cool. And here we are now.
My bro said, "Hey, yo, coding will be cool." Yeah, cool. All right, man. All right, cool. Cool way to get into things. But I mean, there's a message in that. You want to do something you think is cool. You don't really come into it with the mentality of like, oh, it's gonna be so hard, or like, oh, I wonder like how much time it's gonna take me. Like, if you're intrigued about something, interested about something, you really kind of dumb it down, and because you're interested in actually trying it out, you're just like, ah, fuck it. So that's what it sounds like to you. You're just like, oh, coding would be cool, let me try it out, and you just never stop. correct?
Yeah, I just never stopped. So I ended up qualifying in IT. Um, and um, yeah, ended up qualifying in IT, got a job. So now I have like 6 years of dev experience under my belt at scale. So at scale of systems at like plus 15 million
Damn.
users.
All right, let's fast forward and then we'll bring it back. So, that being said, you got into coding, you have 6+ years experience. Where are you currently at right now as far as just, where do those skills take you now? Like, what are you currently doing? Like, describe to me your top two biggest accomplishments, so to speak, within that field.
Um, so basically, how do I describe it? Um, so basically, I'm a senior developer um, in I don't want to give too much away because I'm under NDA, so that's why I'm also undocked. So I have a full-time job. Full disclosure. So that's why I'm a bit hesitant. I'm just thinking about how to phrase it. But yeah, so I'm a senior developer. We design models, AI models, um, to calculate the probability of things. And yeah, man, that's where I'm at right now. I develop um, systems that 15 million people use daily.
Jesus. Okay, that says it all, bro. You combine NDA, you combine senior developer, you combine 6+ years, you combine that many people that use your system. That says it all, man. You don't have to like say anymore after that. But that's freaking amazing, dude. From going from coding will be cool to be in the position you are now, man. Like think about that. If you had to go back and you're like, okay, this is what my life is gonna look like in 5, 6 years from now, you like, is that something you were kind of expecting, or were you just like kind of going with the flow, kind of being in the present and then learning as you go? Like, how did that happen in your mind? Like, did you have like a plan, or did you kind of just like go with it?
In the beginning, go with the flow. Um, and then as I got better at it, um, as I started to understand the world more, understand how businesses at scale operate, how they scale to different levels, um, all that kind of like opened my mind. And after that, it was like once you realize things that you can't um, unrealize, it like changes you. And I feel like now I'm like way focused on what I want to do. Um, and yeah.
I love that. I love that because I definitely resonate with that. And I think for you, it's like the more you're intaking and you're broadening your perspective, the better it is for you to be at your job and like, keep it moving, because it sounds like to me that you're consistently in a position where you need to understand the world and how it's consistently changing and moving, specifically in business. And so, what is like, do you have a certain, I guess I don't want to say routine, but like, is there certain ways you go about things for you to kind of like broaden your perspective, every so often? Like, is there certain things that you do that help you kind of like open up your mind in that sense?
um, Continuously learning. I make that my goal. I need to know more today than I knew yesterday. But I don't keep that too structured. I try to learn what I need to learn at that point in time. Like I've only been doing Web3 dev for like just under 2 years now. So
To be
blockchain
fair,
dev.
bro, 2 years in Web3 is like almost four. So it's quite some time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's how fast paced it is here, man. But all right, so let's say there's an aspiring dev in the crowd right now listening in. What's one thing you would tell them? Knowing what you know now, and kind of like your journey. What's one thing that you can give them, like starting off, to kind of like help them either cut their time in half, or just kind of give them like a little push in the right direction.
I feel like it's like with learning anything, you have to have perseverance. You just you just shouldn't stop. Like if you want to learn how to code, it can be like really frustrating in the beginning, but you must just have the knowing and the belief in yourself that you will understand it as long as you put in the hours, you put in the time to understand it.
Yeah, man. I think that correlates to not just being a dev, but being or trying something that you truly want to do. You gotta just come at it with like that. My bad. Where it's like you understand this is gonna be a journey, and you understand that it's never gonna end truly. So that's when you truly need to be in love with the process, and you got to understand that some, like you said, some days are going to be tougher than others, but it's not always going to be like that. You're going to have your very ecstatic rewarding days, your aha moments, doors opening up that you didn't even realize were there. And once you get to those moments, it's like, okay, I see now why I've been doing this for such a long time. So it sounds to me like you're a very um, consistent person when it comes to doing what you do. And I know for myself, man, in the position I am, I need to be extremely organized, and like my time management needs to be on point, just because of like the constant things that are moving. And again, I'm like you, I like to intake as much as possible to broaden my perspective. So can you tell us a little bit about your like day to day? Do you have like a routine, a schedule that kind of helps you stay on track?
Yeah, so I try to maximize the most of my time. So basically, like 9 to 5, I work at my job. Then 6 to like 2, 3 in the morning, I work on building the pixel realm. And I feel like I've outgrown my job now. Um, so the next phase for me is to build my own thing, my own world. Because I feel like we at the pixel realm can affect a lot of people's lives. That's the goal in a positive way.
I love that, man. Yeah, it's like it's got to be something bigger than yourself, right? 'Cause, or else, then what's the point? But damn, that's exciting, dude. So you're kind of like in that transition phase, or about to enter this phase, which is really cool because I know what that feels like. So right now, like in this moment, you're thinking about, well, not thinking about, but you're starting to plan out your exit, so to speak, right? And leaving a paid position, secure job, to something that is unsure, but you believing it so much that you're gonna go for it anyways. How how are you feeling right now, right in this moment, before you actually make that jump? Like, can you tell the public what kind of emotions come to you, or if there's any at all, right? Like, how's your mind right now?
Well, first I have to make sure. So So first I have to make sure that I have enough to survive like with my current lifestyle for 1 year. Once I have that secured, then that 1 year will be fully focused on building the pixel realm. And in that 1 year, I plan to scale it up to a level that it can sustain me and the team for the future.
Bro, it's like the more you talk, the more similarities that we have. Like, it was the same situation for me, man. I was a business broker. I was selling businesses, making cool money, had my spot, my whip, my girl, all this stuff. And I saved enough money for like to live off of for 1 year. And that 1 year, bro, I just went so hard with like networking, art, all this stuff, right? And it really helped me because I had nothing holding me back. And I was living with my parents, bro, and they were helping me out as well. So I really was able to give that 1 year an extreme push and make it happen. So I think that's a really good timeline, man, and that's exciting, bro. I remember how I felt in that moment too, like, oh shit, like this is actually happening. You can plan as much as you want, but at the end of the day, the reality is you never know what the fuck's gonna happen, right? So there's still that like, feeling of uncertainty and just like realizing, damn, this can go either really good or really bad. Like, there's no in between, man. So shout out to you for really taking that step, and I'm looking forward to seeing what happens, man. Like, definitely keep us in touch with your journey.
Yeah, man, definitely. It beats staying in the matrix, fam.
Fuck yes, man. That being said, can you describe what the Matrix means to you? I've heard you bring it up a few times, and I agree, man. Same perspective, but like, how important is it in your mind, in your perspective, to do everything that you can to get out of the Matrix?
Yo, that is my main purpose right now. That is what I am at war with. So I say I'm at war, it's because I'm actually at war. It's the only thing I focus on. It's the only thing I put my time into is to escape the Matrix. Well, the Matrix is like the movie The Matrix. It's the system. So um going to work every day, answering to people, just being caught in all the traps that society sets for us. Um, I feel like money is important, but it is not the most important thing. Like the most important thing is freedom, and the only way to get that freedom is to be financially free, where you don't have to worry about money, which is just an imaginary thing at the end of the day, anyway.
Yep, it's man made, bro. And I couldn't have said it better myself, man. You really, like I knew we were doing something similar, but I didn't really realize that it is an actual war, man. Like, it's a fight to get out, on your own, get yourself out of that life and create that freedom, like you said. But it's a whole nother fucking level when you're trying to bring others with you. And that right there is like a mission on its own, bro. It's so difficult because everybody has their own life, right? The own things that they go through, their current level that they are. Some might have it harder than others. Like, it really all depends. But when you're trying to teach and kind of be this leader to kind of hold the door open for others, like, bro, sometimes that door is heavy as fuck. I know from experience. So the fact that you're really pushing to do that says a lot about your character, man, and I respect that a ton.
Yeah, man. Shout out, shout out.
But let's talk about the Matrix a little bit. Like, first of all, it's one thing to even understand and realize that you're in a Matrix, right? I'd say that's the first level of like trying to step
Yeah.
out of it, is actually realizing that you're in it.
Yeah, fam. Agreed. It's but some people will never escape it.
Yeah, that's true. And to be fair, some people are very happy in it. Like,
Yeah.
it's just really how fulfilled a person is. But for people like me and you, for creatives out there who really want to be free and get paid doing what they love, right? Expressing themselves to the fullest, authentically. That's the real, complexity of like how to get there, right? And it's not just like, okay, do X, Y, and Z, and then boom, you're there. It's a consistent, fight. Like you said, it's a war. You got to keep adapting. You have to keep. But yeah, man. So let's talk about like when it comes to Pixel Lords. You said you're trying to make this a project, something that not only sustains you but your team. Like, tell us a little bit about that. Like, what does that look like? What is it really? Can you describe it a bit?
So end goal is we want to have a full team, proper business startup, but focused on devs because so we want a team of dope devs that learn quickly so that we can pivot whenever we need to create whatever we need to at that moment in time. And the tech that we want to create, well, the mission of the Pixel Realm is to empower creators through the tech that we build. That's the main mission of the Pixel Realm.
Gotcha. So,
So a lot
so
of the
you're
tech that
like
we
creating
build
like a
is
dev studio, right? And just kind of like expanding your team to be able to be most efficient um, and produce as much as possible.
yeah. So it will be split in two. It will be split into one side, which will be the more creative side. So that will be like creating in Web3 from my vision for the Pixel Realm. And the other side will be doing dev work for other Web3 projects to
Gotcha,
keep us a bit
gotcha. Yeah, I
sustainable.
mean, one, you're building out your world, like you said, expanding on it, and two is to be able to sustain, right, and be able to like keep going, and not have to pull funding from anywhere else. Yeah, that's smart, man. I think we all know it, right? Like devs are really seeked for right now, and I feel like as people continue to learn more about Web3, and the younger generation, continues to have more and more ideas, like people are gonna need more and more devs, right? So I think it's a really great position that you and your team are in, and the fact that projects like us, we're very art forward, but our expansion is really just connecting with as many creatives as possible, right? Not just artists, but in many different industries. So, just having this connection, having this conversation right now, like you never know what this is going to lead to in the future. You know what I mean? Like, you have access now to really fucking high quality artistic studio, creative studio, and vice versa. Like, if we need something done, like I know, oh, Sensei Trap Lord, fucking the Trap Lord of devs, bro. Like, I know where to go now. So this is like the real beauty of all of this, man. It's like the creative mind space is really a place for both of us to connect and share our story in the public eye. So it's like happening in real time and showing people how connections are really made, man, through real, honest, genuine conversations, like getting to know one another and seeing if anything comes after it, like afterwards. But at the end of the day, I feel like this is a really experimental, super fun and creative space. And in the long run, like I think it's going to be something extremely major. And the fact that you're positioning yourself as the Sensei Trap Lord of Deads, bro, that's freaking amazing. Talking about
Yeah,
that,
man.
let's talk about that name. Like, how did you get that? How did you give yourself that? Like, how did that happen?
So, yo, that's a long story. But anyway, when I first jumped into Web3, we started a project called Crypto Traplords Club. So we didn't sell any of that. That was like my first experiment. It didn't do too well. But basically, that project was a bit ahead of its time. I'd still like to do something similar to that in the future, but at that time, it wasn't the right time to do that. So basically, it was a music platform that lived on the blockchain, and users would get paid when music was played and all that type of stuff. But that didn't work out for all those reasons. And then Pixel Lords came to be. And when we started Pixel Lords, it was just for fun. And then it actually made me realize the importance of experimenting in this space and collecting data in this space and honing our skills in this space right now, so that in the future, when we want to implement something which will really affect people's lives, we have the skills to do so.
Yo, man, that is, that's the long game right there. And I feel like most people, most founders go for the short game because obviously that, you get your gains, whatever. But when you set yourself up on a timeline that you like your vision, you're seeing so far out that you're preparing for the moment that once the masses, the people are like, yo, I need this, they're like, bro, that's been done already. I have it on lock. Like, I have X amount of time experience in this. Like we got you. That's really where a project truly positions itself to win because now you're the person, you're the project, right? Like you're gonna be known for that specific thing. But when you're trying to chase the meta and trying to come up with a product that you're seeing is valuable right now in this very moment, it's kind of like already too late unless you do it differently, right? So in the sense, like you need to take the heat and work and be confident that your product and what you're building is going to be valuable when the right time comes. And it is going to come, it's just a matter of time. And for you, it's just about surviving and getting to that point. That's something that I learned in Web3, bro. Like being here, I'm just like, okay, how are things actually moving, bro? How are people actually building here? And why is this person winning and this person's like getting no traction at all whatsoever, right? So again, it's a very experimental um, ecosystem, and to me, it's just like understanding what you are good at, where your value is, and how can you position yourself that way that you can actually win eventually, right? Like, what is your strongest suit? So that's dope to hear, bro, because you're really planning for the future here, right? And you're setting yourself up in your project in a really good place. So I know it's frustrating sometimes, man. Like you want to get stuff out sooner than later. You want to be recognized, but the fact that matter that's just not the case. Like people, you need to be patient. As fast paced as this ecosystem is, like you need to be patient. Um, but yeah, man. So let's see, Lord Sensei, man. So what are you currently like working on? Like aside from doing what you're doing, is there a process like a creative way that you keep your mind fresh, like just for you, like personal, right? Like for me, I like to just draw and really just be in the moment and express myself, kind of just create to create. Do you have something like that kind of refreshes your mind?
Um, yeah, multiple things. So basically, right now, the team at Pick the Pixaram is just me and YSC. I do the dev, the art, all that stuff, and YSC helps me out with the marketing and just being a legend in general. But yeah, so what do I do to take my mind off things? I don't really take my mind off things because I'm at war. I can't let anything slip. But I view like I draw pixel art now, but I also draw like traditionally. But now I'm like honing my skills on like pixel art, so I enjoy doing that. I also enjoy coding. I see it as an art form. I know not many people do so, but I see coding as an art form. Like sometimes I'll read like people's code and I'll be like, yo, shit, that shit is beautiful, man. Like, yo, you won't get it, but that shit is beautiful. And so even like when I create beautiful code, it feels good also. I also like to create music, write a few bars, watch anime for some creative inspiration.
That's what's up, man. Like to code for fun, man. That's crazy. But nah, you know, to each their own. Everybody has their thing, and I think it's important to realize that you need a little bit of time for escape. Recharge, and kind of you might think you're being super productive. Being on the grind on that offensive consistently 24/7. But at the end of the day, we're human. We need to scale back and pick and choose our times of, calmness and collectiveness, and kind of like blank your mind a little bit. It helps me a ton. To each their own. But this is just stuff that I've learned, like to kind of settle down and let stuff come to me, and not really kind of force it sometimes. So that would be my advice, man. So I wanna dive
You
into real
know,
quick. Uh,
I feel you. I feel you there, fam. But at the moment, I'm in a stage. I'm in a phase of attack. So I've had a phase of just sitting back and analyzing, making the plan. Now I'm executing the plan at this moment in time. Because I feel you burnout. Burnout is real, fam. It's real, and it's hard to get out of. Like, come out of it once you are in it.
and what is that plan looking like? Like, do you have like a certain timeline that you're kind of like setting yourself for, or like what does that look like for you right now?
So, like timeline this year, and we're gonna release it in phases. So we're creating like premium experiences centered around art, not only by me. So hopefully we can do a collab and have a piece by you also, or pieces.
Yeah, man. Like I said, you never know what can come out of things. Like the fact that we're connecting right now, in the public eye. Yeah, I'd be more than down. Like, we're here for the art. We're here for creators. We're here for people who want to do something truly amazing. Like, we support that 100. So let's do it, bro. Um, I'm reading the statement that you have on your Twitter bio for the Pixel Realm, and I think it's pretty
Yeah.
interesting. So if you can kind of like explain a little bit how you came up with that, and for those here right now, it's a Degen experiment in the science of hype.
Yeah. So on the website, it's expanded a bit. So on the website, it's a DJ and experiment in the science of hype, a journey into the pixel realm, a world revolving around art. So what I mean by a degen experiment in the science of hype is we're all degens. I'm a degen. So I resonate with the Web3 community. And what we're trying to do is create a science for hype, like in the tech perspective. So we're trying to collect data on what causes hype, how can we create hype, how can we sustain hype, all from a data driven perspective. So that's what it
Okay,
is.
okay, I see. So you're like, in a sense, you're formulating it into kind of like a formula that you can tweak and experiment off of, but you're creating a base of like where the hype generates, how it stays consistent, what kills it, and vice versa. That's interesting, man. You really like pinpointing and focusing on that specific thing. And how's it been so far? Like, how's the data been?
Yo, in the beginning, everything we tried didn't work. But I feel like now we're getting better at it. Like in the past, like 1.5, like past 2 weeks, we gained like over 200 followers on Twitter, which is a big milestone. So I feel we're getting better at it. And we're just going to continue experimenting. And any outcome is a good outcome for us because we just want the data.
Yeah, I mean, the more you know what doesn't work, the closer you're gonna get to what actually does work, right? It's just consistency and putting in the reps and showing up and trying different shit. Um, nah, I can relate, man. Damn. But so how long? So what does your team look like, Brian? Oh, you said you have a team of two. Shout out YC, by the way. Man's a fucking legend. He's actually on our team as well for
Yeah.
ODK, and his, you know, I think his mind and being able to kind of like understand another person's vision is so fucking great, bro, because he really like, yeah, he's been in the project for quite some time, but he was able to kind of like pick my mind and contextualize everything in front of me in a way that, I can see and be like, okay, this is exactly what I'm doing, right? Like, oh shit, cool. I see the direction, like, so I think he's a really great asset. If he's on your team, bro, like, shout out to him. That's amazing. That only means that we're gonna be even more connected now. So that's definitely exciting because we are still in the very, very early stages where we're, creating a business model that will allow us to, sustain ourselves outside of Web3. And, eventually we do want to be super connected with devs and doing different type of experiments, right? Really cool stuff around the creative arts. So the fact that we're here right now connecting is amazing, bro. Shout out to him for putting that together.
Yeah, no, shout out to YC. He is a legend, fam.
Yeah, man, that's exciting, bro. I'm glad that you came on and like I really got to understand like what you're going through right now because it's definitely not easy. You put in the hours, you have your job, and then outside of that, you're working on your project, right? Kind of like building up your exit plan. Um, but yeah, how old are you, by the way, man?
I'm 30 years old.
Nice, bro. Young,
Yeah.
bro. Damn. And
Yeah. So now is the time to make the moves, fam.
that's for damn sure. Right now, so just experiment, fucking keep throwing spaghetti at the wall and seeing what sticks. There's no time to like contemplate. Take action as much as you can. But that's exciting, dude. And do you plan to stay in Africa, or like are you planning to kind of like travel a bit? Like, how often do you go to NFT events, stuff like that?
Never. Um, but I do plan on exploring outside of South Africa. Definitely. Soon. It's just I
Nice.
hadn't been in a position to do so, but um now we grinded. So soon, fam.
That's what's up. And so, can you tell us? We're almost at an hour mark, and we'll start to get people up here. If anybody has some questions or a statement, but you know, when are you kind of planning to drop the lords, or like, what's the timeline for that? So we can kind of be prepared. Keep our community in the know.
So our Genesis collection already dropped. That's the Pixel Lords. That's 230 pieces. So that's the PFP you see on Lord Molete there. So those were zero point 0.1 Sol mint, and we sold like maybe like 100 of them, and I gave away like 100. So we got 10 Sol from there. That's how we started this whole thing with 10 Sol. And yeah, so now we're gonna do a one of one, a 50-piece one of one collection, which is the Hype Lords, which is my PFP, and that's basically an art gallery. So it has multiple versions stored on one NFT, and you can scroll it on the NFT. So you can scroll the gallery on the NFT, or actually go view the gallery, and everything is like stored on chain. So I like have pieces currently that are out that have like 3 art slots filled, and then I can get like just say for example, I can ask you to do a variation of my PFP in your style, and then we can take that art piece and store it in the gallery on these. I'll show it to you another time. We can hop on a call.
Yeah, man, definitely. Let's set that up, man. That's interesting. I just pinned one of the. Oh, actually, let me pin this one so you can actually see the art. I just pinned it to the top right now. That's one of the lords, right?
Yeah, that's the Pixel Lords, the ones that are available on Magic Eden right now. Yeah,
All right, cool. You said this 200, 250,
230.
230. Gotcha, man.
Yeah.
That's what's up, man. Yeah, let's definitely set something up afterwards, some other time, and go a little bit more deeper into that. That being said, we are running close to 1 hour, so if anybody has any questions, wants to say what's up to me or Lord, uh, come up now. Come vibe out real quick. Say what's up. If not, we'll just keep it rolling for another 10 minutes or so. But super inspiring, man. For me, doing these spaces, it takes time, it takes, effort, and we don't get paid doing it. But for me, it's so much valuable content in the moment because I get to learn a lot about every creative story, right? And kind of like what they're attempting at doing because it makes me feel like, yo, I'm not the only one, right? Like with these big ass dreams and like, trying to fucking go to war with the system and all this shit. Like it feels great knowing there's other people like me, man, like really going for it. So that's what I get out of it, man.
Yeah, we hear fam. We powerful together. The more people realize that, the more powerful we become.
That's very true, man. That's definitely one of our ethos here. That I don't care how long it takes us to build out our community, but the people who are here on a consistent basis, man, really learning, really pushing for the vision. Like, dude, these people are like family to me now. You know what I mean? So it's like the numbers keep growing little by little, but at the end of the day, I already feel like I have my family. So it's like, we have enough heads to really make an impact. Now it's just a matter of like, having me direct the ship to the next level, and getting us there. But so that's exciting, bro. Like I would definitely want to connect with your community, see, what the possibilities are of doing stuff together, right? That makes sense for everybody, and keeping things fresh, bro. Like you said, move as a unit. We're much more powerful that way.
Yeah, 100. Shout out, man. Shout out again for having me on this piece.
Yes, sir. I see we got some speakers up here. YC, we got Lord Molete. I hope I'm saying that right. What's up? What's up?
What I do,
What's up, guys?
I had to come up and say hello. Listening to the alpha and the connections being forged. I love to hear it, and you got me blushing out here with your kind words. So mad love for that. And yeah, just big shout out to both of you guys, mega builders in the space, builders for the entire ecosystem, not just each other, not just yourselves. In fact, I think you probably put the community and the ecosystem before yourselves. So yeah, mad love. It's been awesome listening. And yeah, just came up to show some vibes, man.
Hey, that's what's up, YC, bro. Yeah, man. Like I miss these spaces, bro. Like I be getting goosebumps in the conversations and stuff, man. like we energizes me. But you know, again, we couldn't have done it without you, bro. So thank you for making that connection. I see, Lord, you got your hand up, bro. What's up, bro? Come on up.
What's happening, ODK? What's happening, Sensei Trap Lord? I'm just here to, if I can say, I don't know if I can say, just represent and show support for Sensei Trap Lord. If there's one thing about South Africans, even though I don't always consider myself a South African, like I'm from a country called Lesotho, which is completely surrounded by South Africa, but my mom is from here. So, but you find that because we're like so far away from, we're like literally at the south of Africa, that and with the history of apartheid and all that, we were so removed that it seems like now, as when things are opening up more, especially with technology, whenever there's something like South African or South African is doing something somewhere, like, or somebody internationally mentions a South African, or something, or shares a South African content, whether it be on TikTok or Instagram, whatever, you just get a whole lot of South Africans just showing up in the comments. Some people find it cringe as hell. So that's almost like, me right now. I'm like, yeah, I'm up here. I'm throwing up. If there was gang signs for South Africa, I'm throwing them up
Hey.
because Sensei Trap Lord is up here. So, but yeah, just
Bro, that's so fire,
Hey,
man. Yo,
slow
fuck all
down.
that bullshit. Like, you know, people talking shit, bro. Represent, man. Like, if you're proud, show that shit, right? Like, don't be scared to, put yourself out there. Like, fuck all that stuff, bro. Always say, I am not too cool to show love when I feel it and I want to show it, no matter who it is. I don't care, bro. If you make me feel some type of way, I'm gonna show it. So shout out to that, man.
Shout out, Mo. Shout out. Appreciate you, fam.
Damn,
Yeah,
it'd be rolling deep in South Africa, bro. I love that.
yeah, I was going to say as well, it's a very rare sight to see a lord up amongst the audience, you know. So it's a pleasure to see and to hear you guys repping, bro. I see how it is now, and bro, like it's not long before the lords are going to be everywhere, man. We're going to have an audience full of lords, bro, and I'm super hyped for that, man.
Shit, that made me want to become a lord, bro. Just
joy.
having him come up here and represent like that. Damn.
And
We
if I
got
can
you.
tell you something
We,
quickly, right? So what happened is that initially when at mint stage, actually prior to the mint, Sensei Trap Lord, he actually gave some people, sent some lords to some people. I was one of them. And then on the day of the mint, I went and I collected three. No, I got four, and then I gave one away to somebody who wanted to have an NFT, but just think they're still a student and money's just tight. So I sent one to them. Then I was kind of out of the space for a while, just work and stuff, and I had to set up a new wallet. But I was distracted, and I did something that I never thought I would do. I put up my seed phrase, trying to set up my Phantom wallet, but it wasn't on like an official Phantom wallet. It was just like the silliest thing. So they went in and they took my Solana NFTs. They took my Trap Lord NFTs, because I was like, what's going on? And Sensei Trap Lord actually. Oh, and get this, like you mentioned that Mint was to 0.1, because I couldn't remember, right? One of the stolen Trap Lords, right? It actually sold for 2.5 Sol, and I was like, damn, man, like like I've bought like stuff at 1.5 Sol, 1 Sol. There's some of the stuff that got stolen, but I'm like, literally, one of the pieces, I didn't spend a whole lot on them on it, but look, now it's gone for 2.5. So, and then actually, Sensei Trap Lord actually gave me this one, just to kind of get me back in the game. So, big ups to him, because a lot of I've gone into some other projects where it just feels like the people don't care. And then once it kicks off, they go out and buy, I don't want to say elite, but like expensive NFTs. Like, I'm talking about doing not on the Solana network, but really really big ones. And then it's like you're just forgotten. So yeah, so please, like, he's not paying me to do this, but I'm just saying, like, if you want to check out the work he's doing, just, please go ahead. And thanks. Okay, let me get down from the stage. Thanks, ODK. I just want to say big ups to you as well, because what you're doing, it's the first time that I come across you, but these things are very important. So people like you who hold a space, it's, you have no idea like what you're doing for other people. Sometimes within the space, everybody's trying to make money and whatever, but also what I've found personally is just like opening spaces. It just allows connections to happen, even come in and just, when you feel a bit burnt out or you're feeling a bit lazy, you just get inspired again by what somebody was saying. Yeah, so these things are very important. So big ups to you.
Yes, sir, man. Beautifully put. Much love to you. And yeah, man, like you said, connecting, learning about each other's stories, while involving, your community in the spotlight. Like, that's where I feel the real magic happens, right? Where everything is just super authentic. You have no idea where things are going to go, but just due to the fact that we're sharing our perspectives, our experiences, our goals, our dreams, where we're headed, and we're connecting the dots, right? Seeing what makes sense, what's possible, and kind of like, it's like you said, re-inspiring each other all over again, because it is a tough space. It's like we're in a tough space that's in a tough space. So it's like, a lot of stuff is really working against us. But at the end of the day, this is where it's at for, that when that time finally comes, we're right there, bro. Position, like, it's like that risk reward, it has to make sense, and it will. But, we just have to stay consistent and stay positive, bro. So thank you for those vibes. And we are running at 1 hour now, so I'm gonna go ahead and close it after YC. But what's up, man? Come on up, man.
Yeah, nice one, man. I just wanted to follow on from what the Lord was saying regarding the power of these small spaces creating a unified cause, I think, and a platform to allow people to share their thoughts. And it's not very often that you come across two creators, two founders that are, in my opinion, more dedicated to the cause than many I've come across in the space, man. Because what you guys are doing, you put your all into the art. I know Lyco grinds all day, every day. And to give you some perspective on Sensei Trap Lord, like we must have started working together over a year ago now. And we had a huge number of brainstorms on the future of the project and everything. And then Sensei Traplord, he just went on like under the radar, yeah, like he was missing, and I didn't have a doubt in my mind that he was gone. I knew he was cooking, and he came back like I'd say 8 or 9 months later from radio silence, and he had completely revolutionized everything. He'd knuckled down on his building. He'd just refined, I think, everything. And the same can be said for ODK out here, man. Like, I know I'm biased, I'm on both teams, but trust me when I say these are two dedicated individuals whose only goal is to bring everyone with them. It's not to leave anyone behind. So I just wanted to big up, man. Like, mad love to you guys and everything you're building. So looking forward to the future.
Yes, sir, man. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And shit, bro, I'm hyped. Like, these things. pump me up. Like, it takes a lot to do what we do, man. So, words like that, that positive feedback, something as simple as, hey, man, like, I got your back, or just showing up, something as simple as a like, a retweet, like, all these things, bro, go such a long way. And so I want to take the time to thank you, everybody that has been supporting me, who has been supporting Lord Sensei, because it's tough. And we want to let you guys know that we pay attention, we see the love, and we feel it. So thank you. Um, that being said, Lord Sensei, are there any last words you want to say before we close out the space, bro? The stage is yours.
Yeah, fam. I just want to say thank you to everybody for pulling through. Shout out to YC for the kind words. And yeah, just keep watching that Twitter page for new announcements because it's about to get exciting with Chapter 0.
That's what's up, man. Looking forward to it. And yeah, everybody have a beautiful Friday. Going into the weekend, catch some vibes, stay positive, drink your water, and make sure you tell your loved ones that you love them.